This is coming to you from John Wayne's 26 Bar Ranch in Eager, Arizona.
Why don't we just bust in?
Because busting through doors with Quirt Evans on the other side ain't my idea of a healthy pastime.
Tell him to come in.
Come in.
You can stand right there. Against the light.
Howdy, Quirt. You sure run a ring around me, all right. But you know, I don't think it was right friendly of you to beat me to locating that tract after my boys found it. Of course, I'm willing to listen to your side of it. I'm a reasonable man.
Sure. Laredo's always reasonable. That's why he's the biggest man in the territory.
You the biggest man in the territory, Laredo?
So a lot of people say.
I hadn't heard. You nervous?
No, Evans. I can't figure out why you keep stepping on my toes all the time. Of course, that's your business. I'm a good loser.
I like a good loser. Of course, I like any kind of a loser better than a winner.
Yeah. You know, I had a chance to do a heap of thinking while I was following your trail across the territory. I followed it by that string of run-out horses you left behind. And well, sir, I figure it out this way. Quirt don't really want that land. Because work ain't exactly in his line.
Is it in your line?
No, of course not. I was getting it for another fella. And, well, I figure maybe you'll sell.
I don't hear anything jingle.
Is it all right if I put my hand inside my shirt?
Why not?
$5,000 in gold there.
I want 20.
Well, okay, but I'll have to owe you 15. That's all I got on me. I got the deed in my pocket here.
Get it out.
Now, if the young lady could find us something to sign this with.
Still Laredo's hired boy, eh, Hondo? Picking up after him, carrying matches for his cigars.
You mind yourself.
He'll mind himself. Won't you, Hondo?
Miss, would you mind taking this over to Mr. Evans, please? Thank you. You know, I'm sure glad to see you up and around, Quirt. We heard you was flat on your back.
Sorry to disappoint you.
And you come on over and get the rest of that money anytime. Anytime, that is, that you feel able.
I'll see you one of these days.
Well, so long, Quirt.
Saddle up my horse, will you, kid? And throw on my war bags.
What would have happened if they knew the gun was empty?
It'd have been Saturday night in Sioux City. Tie on my slicker, too. Sorry.
Oh, no, Quirt, no.
What kind of a boarder do you think I am?
You can't do that. We'd tend to any wounded human, and not for pay.
You don't believe in force, so you can't force me to take it back.
I'm afraid you're outwitted, Thomas.
How long have I been here?
Almost 3 weeks.
Kinda hate to get going.
Oh, but you can't. Your leg, you're in no condition to travel.
Don't worry, your cooking's got me grained up and ready for market. Adios, amigos.
Quirt!
Shall I pack my things?
Why?
They'd leave without me?
I got places to go.
Court, I wouldn't care. It doesn't make any difference to me how far. Oh. I know so little. I didn't know it could happen to one and not the other. I thought it always happened to both.
That isn't it.
It isn't?
Well,
Then they do feel that...
look, Penny, I'm not the kind of a guy that does things suddenly. I gotta look before I leave. You can ask anybody. They'll tell you that Court Evans is a mighty cautious citizen.
Oh, then it's just that they're not sure yet.
Yeah. Sort of.
Oh, please stay.
He's all saddled, Quirt.
Unsettling.
You gonna stay? A double eagle. Quint, there's something I'd rather have than this. A favor, a big favor.
Well, you got them both. What is it?
Would you ride past?
Well, there's those who'd say I'm pretty slow.
So he decided to stay and tried to farm, even though he'd never been a farmer before.
Penny. Where's the bucket?
But it would be a good way to stay away from the law till he was
Funny thing about Penny,
thoroughly healed
I lose my appetite for him after the first couple of
from his gunshot
This
wound.
morning, too heavy. Wild Indian. Put water on those vegetables this morning.
There's always work around here to be done.
They wanted to be a farmer, didn't they?
Not anymore, I don't.
Surely you can walk to the barn without that.
What?
The gun.
Oh, well, it balances me. One leg's longer than the other. You know, the weight.
Thee are a liar. Throw the cow some hay. There's a pitchfork.
Before I was 15, I learned to hate those things. I swore I'd leave plows and pitchforks to farmers.
I'll do it.
No, I'll do it. But it's an occasion.
Thee.
What?
Oh, nothing, just thee.
Penny!
Well, you wanted hay, didn't you? Didn't thee?
15. Better put this littlest one in a box. 16. Now get a bucket of water.
Water. All I do is carry water.
No force. Say, wasn't this place irrigated? I see all these flumes and ditches.
Frederick Carson turned the water off.
Frederick Carson.
He's the man who bought the ranch up above from friends who couldn't make a go of it. We had built a community dam, but it was on his property.
Well, what'd you do about it? Don't tell me. You prayed.
Of course.
Get you any water?
Well, we didn't pray for water. We prayed for Frederick Carson.
Carson turned off the water and you prayed for him?
Of course. Can't you see? By committing an evil act, the poor man injured his soul.
I'm glad there's a well. Because it'd sure get thirsty around here if we had to wait for Carson. Gonna walk his pony.
So, Quirt decided that he would do something on his own and get the water turned back on.
Benny? Nothing.
The neighbor had dammed up what was called Oak Creek, which was water to the settlers.
Be sure you don't leave no slack in that cinch. The boss will sure howl.
Yeah, this ain't the first pony I ever saddled. He'd squawk no matter how I done it.
He's sure getting mean these days, ain't he?
Cantankerous by his natural bornin'. That boil in his neck don't help him none either.
Get out of my way. You belong behind a plow.
Who's Carson?
Don't get down. We ain't taking on no saddle tramps on this spread. Vamoose. Are you deep? I said get moving, tramp.
Nice dam.
Yeah, what's that to you?
Take out the top 2 planks.
What did you say?
The top 2. Let 16 inches of water over there.
Who says so?
I do.
And who might you be when you're at home?
Quirt Evans.
Well, anybody might ride up here and say they're Quirt Evans. He ain't knowed around here by sight. Anybody can say they're him.
Sure could.
But there's a QE stamp on his saddle.
Well, take the top planks out of that head gate, you stupid idiot.
Just the mention of Quirt Evans' name was enough to make him move and move fast.
Well, I don't need all that extra water.
Step up on that pony.
Well, now, look here, Mr. Evans. I've done what you told me to.
You sure did. Step up on that pony.
Well, I'm the kind of fellow tries to get along with everybody.
Side me.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe we better take out a couple more of them planks, Shucks. I've got 10 times as much water as I need.
That'll do for now.
Well, if you ever need any more, Mr. Evans, all you got to do is say so.
I figured that.
Then came the water.
Mother, look at the balloon! Mother, all the ditches are full of water! Thomas!
Now let's start off from scratch. You got more water than you need.
You're absolutely right, Quirt. I mean, Mr. Evans. Hey, do you mind if I call you Quirt?
Not a bit. So it's no skin off your moccasins if you let a little water over that ditch.
I absolutely know, Mr. Evans. I mean, Quirt.
You're gonna be neighborly or not?
Well, I sure am, Quirt.
Well, that's the way to talk.
Thomas! Frederick Coss.
Howdy, Mrs. Worth.
Oh, we always knew you'd change your mind.
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Thank you, Frederick. All of us here in the valley are grateful to you.
Worth, it's like I was saying. I ain't got any use for all that extra water. Why shouldn't I let my neighbors use it? I believe that neighbors should be friendly.
What have you got there on your neck, a boil?
Miss Worth, I rustled that burned boil
Have
off
you
of my...
tried putting soap and sugar poultice on it?
No, ma'am, I ain't.
If you get down this minute and come in the house, I'll fix it for you. That's right.
You gonna hurt me?
No, that's a shame. It looks awful.
Well, looks like your prayer straightened everything out.
So you think your gun changed Frederick Carson, huh?
Who says I pointed a gun?
I do.
Well, I didn't.
And he gave in more easily than I expected. Do you remember this, Quirt? The Lord moves in mysterious manner at times, using strange methods and odd instruments.
Me?
Mm.
Well, it would be odd.
I just get a gnawing hankering after good pies and truck like that.
Oh, Freddie Carson.
Yes, ma'am?
I want you to have some of these. They're awful good with coffee in the morning.
Makes me want to go home and shoot my Chinese cook.
You just come back for more any time you like. There are always plenty.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Frederick.
Goodbye. Man ought to see more of his neighbors. Hey, wonderful woman, that Mrs. Worth. Look, she fixed my boil.
Penny! Excuse me, I think Father wants to give thanks.
Oh, he always thanked me.
I know. I think now he'd like to thank someone else.
Hey, hold my plunder while I get aboard, will you? You know, Mrs. Worth's going to keep me supplied in pies. I want to bring her over a quarter of beef now and then. Finally come to an understanding with my neighbors.
You sure did.
Oh, well, of course, you know I was just scared to death when I made that speech to them people. I'm glad you made me go.
So the mean old neighbor had made new friends with the Quakers.
Dinner.
How bad's dinner gonna be?
Oh, roast venison and vegetables, and, of course, a skimpy chicken.
Well, with a pie and cake, I'll try to make out.
Chicken or venison?
Both. I feel real good.
Oh, you do?
New dress.
Oh, it's first day. You call it Sunday. Quirt, do me a favor and hitch up the team for Father.
Sure.
And will you do me another favor? Go for a ride with us.
Where?
You're not to ask. It's a surprise. It's a pleasant one.
Hey, Quirt, we got a surprise for you.
He knows. I told him.
Thought you weren't allowed to work on Sunday.
Oh, Quirt, there's nothing we're not allowed to do. It's just that we don't believe in doing what we know is wrong.
Well, that makes it pretty much each fella's own guess.
But each fellow knows inside.
Well, there's a lot of gents I wouldn't want to give that much leeway to.
Frighten you, miss. Is there a fellow named Quirt Evans around here?
Well, yes, I'll get him.
Never mind. I can do my talking to you. Has he been here long?
About 3 weeks, I guess.
He didn't disappear for, say, 2 days during that time, did he?
No.
Hello, you weather-beaten old hangman. Penny, this is Wistful McClintock, the Marshal of the Territory.
Hi, miss.
And don't let that gray hair fool you. He's a curly wolf.
Hello, Quirt. See, I thought I had you about half hung. Tall fella, fast with a gun, held up the Baker stage, killed a couple. Now, you're right tall, and some say you're a fast man. But I guess I'll have to take the little lady's word for it. When are you and Laredo Stevens going to get around to killing one another?
Laredo? Well, we water our horses out of the same trough.
Well, I'm sure looking forward to hanging the survivor. You know, I'm a figuring man. Sometimes I don't know all the answers. Like that fella, Quirt Evans. Handyman with a colt. While he was acting as Wyatt Earp's deputy over the Tombstone, one day he turns in his badge and starts building himself a nice cattle spread. Suddenly sells out and goes on a prod. Why? That's when I ain't figured yet. Sometimes things connect. About that time, a fella called Walt Ennis went down in front of Laredo Stevens. Walt was Regent at the time, and some say that a gambler standing there grabbed his hand. Maybe that's connected. How did you stand with Walt Ennis?
Know him.
The two things connected?
I know a lot of people.
Well, I'll figure it out. I usually do. I'm patient. Young lady, don't be looking at him with your eyes all bugged out like a cowbird's. There ain't no future in it. So long, folks.
Quirt, please stay away from Laredo Stevens.
He owes me money. And don't worry, I might come out on top.
That'd be even worse.
Worse? That'd be worse if he goes down than if I go down?
Of course, don't you see that?
Oh, I know. I'd be a guy with a marred soul.
Don't make it sound so crude, Quirt. You see why I couldn't love you.
All right. I won't look up Laredo. It's better this way. Every time he opens a door, every time he hears footsteps coming around the corner, Laredo will start sweating, thinking it's me. His food won't set well the rest of his life. Well, all right, but if I'm going to be holy, I got to get some fun out of it.
So Quirt Evans, the bad man, goes off to his first church meeting.
You know, I feel like such a gadabout. It seems hardly a whole week since last first day.
And who does he run into but one of the outlaws that he used to run with?
Hey, Quirt! I thought it was you. Well, well, well.
Hello. Mr. and Miss Worth, Randy McCall.
How you do? How do you do?
Just fine, thank you.
Well, well, well.
You said that before. We don't want to keep you if you're in a hurry.
Oh, I'm in no hurry. I got no place to go.
Well, we have.
Would you care to come along with us?
Well, sure. Where?
To meeting.
To meeting? Yes, to meeting. You don't want to go, do you?
Be nice if you could.
We'd be happy to have any friend of Quirt's.
You would? Well, that's just fine. You know, ma'am, I sure am an old friend of Quirt's. Why, I remember one time we were chousing cattle down near the Llano River. Herd stampeded, and Quirt pulled me right out from underneath him. Then there was another time, remember? In Opal's Palace down in San Antone?
We're late.
I know, but I was only
Goodbye.
trying to...
If you can join us, it's in the Grove, just the other side of town.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good day.
Get along.
Good day.
Why askest thou me concerning that which is good? One there is who is good. But if thou wouldst enter into life, keep the commandments. He saith unto him, which? And God said, Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
What comes out of this thing that makes it worth all this work?
Frozen pudding. Hello, Nelson.
Hello, Penny.
Nelson Craig, Quirt Evans.
How do you do?
Howdy.
Nelson's our horseshoer.
Oh.
By the way, I brought that maple sugar you like so much.
Oh, well,
Oh, excuse me. I'll put it here.
Well, thank you.
Oh, say, isn't this the Morgan baby?
Yes, I'm minding him.
He's sure a cute little fella. He looks just like his father. Oh, I'm coming out next week to shoe the horses, Penny.
Oh, fine. Oh, fine. Well, I'll get some water.
Here, let me help you.
Here, twirl this thing. Frozen pudding.
Hold them a minute, Quirt. I want some of those flowers.
You sick or something?
I don't believe it.
It's a baby.
Yeah, I know. Is it old enough to talk?
Of course not.
Well, if it can't talk, it can't snitch. Look, I got something I think you'd like to hear. Laredo Stevens is planning a big play. He's going to jump up some guys that are moving a trail herd up from the north. And I figured that maybe you and me and a couple of friends could sort of play copycat. Well, you heard me, didn't you?
You can have my part of it.
What am I listening to? Are you passing up a chance to blister Laredo?
That's right.
What's the matter with you, Quirt? This farm what? Oh, the dame.
Sticking your head in this bucket will shut you up.
You're getting awful touchy lately. You never used to mind what I said.
Hello.
Hi.
Come along with the water, Quirt.
Shut up.
Quirt, would you come over here? Sit down. May I have your attention? Friends, we all know the purpose of this meeting is threefold. As always, to give thanks for the goodness bestowed upon us, but also to give thanks for the particular that the fields are again watered and the crops and the livestock thrive.
There's two mushroom rocks right at the head of the valley. If you stick a look out there, you can see a herd coming for 10 miles. Here.
Quirt Evans. Friends, we're happy to present you with this token of our friendship for you.
So Quirt Evans receives his very first Bible.
This is Quirt Evans. We're happy to have him here with us because he provided another incident which reaffirms our belief that all men are good if they are shown the light. He persuaded Frederick Carson to let down the water by showing him that a man who is a friend to other men is a happy man himself.
May I shake your hand, Quirt Evans?